Everybody to the Wild Wild West.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of Hooked on Lakers. This is Arshia. We're here to talk Lakers basketball. It's a pleasure to be back. It feels like it's been forever, even though it's probably only been a couple months since there was summer league basketball. But what's really interesting about the NBA is that it's not only a global sport now, you know, that's followed, you know, all over the world, but it's a year-round sport now, believe it or not. I mean, summer league is like a big spectacle now, you know, where, you know, people are almost going there every single summer, you know, to find out who's the new up-and-coming talent in the NBA that's coming out of the collegiate or the international ranks. So, you know, even summer league's been a big deal, and a lot of that has to do with kind of you know, the Lakers bringing in, you know, D'Angelo Russell, the number 2 pick, and then Brandon Ingram, and then most recently the big international sensation Lonzo Ball. And so, you know, although Lakers have had been partly responsible for it, but it's really just the NBA brand is just growing, and it's growing exponentially, and it's unbelievable. You know, there's not even a day that I'm not following it, because there's always something going on, whether it be a trade rumor, something going on social media, a protest, you know, the creation of big threes on who's going to be forming in the next big three, etc. I mean, it's literally a day-to-day event now where you can't take a day off from following it. And that's great for basketball addicts like myself, because I just can't get enough basketball. And so that said, preseason basketball is about to start. I know for a lot of people it's like preseason, but for someone like me who really follows the sport religiously, it's a big deal, because you kind of learn a lot about what's going to be coming up in the upcoming season. So you kind of see, you know, which players are under the radar that now are all of a sudden, you know, making some noise, or players who are borderline, you know, stars, you know, kind of show that, you know, they're going to be a really good player in the upcoming season. So, and also it's finding out who's going to make the team, probably, which is the most important thing, is, you know, which player is going to make a team. And that's kind of a big thing for the Lakers now, is, you know, it kind of seems like the team is set, but you still can't ever drop your guard in sports. You never know when another player is going to come and take your job. So I'm very interested in finding out who's going to be the 14-15 player. It already seems like it's set, but then again, you know, we had a very successful summer league, and so some of those D-League players that we've had, you know, are potentially worthy of a roster position. So I'm really interested in seeing who's going to be the 15th player, maybe even 14th player on the team. There were some D-League players I saw, particularly Caruso. I really liked his length, his athleticism, his leadership skills, especially when Lonzo wasn't in the game and Lonzo was injured. You know, Caruso really took it upon himself to lead the team. For me personally, I'm going to be looking for the, you know, the battles going on, you know, positional battles going on in the Lakers, to find out who's going to get those final roster spots. But really what this upcoming season is all about is just seeing the team improving. There isn't any really any specific goals per se, because they're still technically in development stage. They're still just trying to get better. Their consensus is that they're not going to make the playoffs, so there's no need to add all this pressure on these young 1-2 year players, you know, because you don't want to stunt their growth and affect their game for the future. You want to just give them the flexibility to figure out the game and figure themselves out and just get better as the season goes. So there isn't really any clear-cut goals for the team, other than just get better and just be better than they were last year. Last year, the win totals were, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 27. I haven't looked it up. I probably should have. I think it was 27. But my prediction for this season is a little bit under 40. I think they can get to 37 wins. And that's basically, if last season was 27, this season's 37. That's 10 games. I think they're worthy of 10 game improvements since last year. When you factor in they got a stud center in Brook Lopez, who's going to guaranteed is going to give you 20 a game. Is going to get you at least 1.5 blocks a game. Very good leader. Has molded his game to adapt to the changes going on in the NBA. That's become more of a stretch 4, stretch 5. If you literally can't shoot outside shots or 3-pointers, your game is almost becoming obsolete. And look what happened to, what was our center's name from 2 years ago? The guy who came out of Indiana. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a little bit of blank. I haven't created these videos in a while, but the guy that we got from Indiana that was on the Lakers for like a year, his game was just all around, right around the rim. He couldn't, go outside of that, whether to defend or to shoot the ball. And as a result, he's now basically like a 14th, 15th man on a team now. So if you can't go out there and start shooting the threes, your game is pretty much going to become obsolete in this modern NBA that's really fast-paced. But Brook Lopez has done a great job of extending his game and adapting and hitting the 3-point. And all of a sudden in 1 year, he hit over 100 threes. It was around 130 threes, I think it was. And that's pretty amazing. I mean, that shows you what hard work can do and how this guy can really adapt and change quickly. To obviously go from not being a 3-point shooter, obviously hitting over 100, which is a pretty significant 3-point shooter. That's phenomenal. So for us to get a talent like that, that's going to be a major contribution to our team. That's really going to help us out and improve us compared to last year. In addition to that, getting Caldwell Pope, that's a solid shooting guard in this game. You guaranteed you're going to get production from him on a nightly basis on both ends of the court, offense and defense. So just adding these two elements to our team, that's going to be at least 5 wins, in itself, 5 additional wins because of just their experience and their yearly production. And then when you factor in all the other elements, all the young players are going to be getting up better, so their baseline is going to be going up and bringing the team's baseline up. And then probably most important of all, the addition of our future leader, Lonzo Ball. This guy has an effect on teams like right away, as we saw it in Summer League. Not only from him being on the court, but he has an effect on the team even when he's off the court. One of my concerns was, the Summer League when Lonzo Ball was injured, was that the team's production was going to go down. It continued rocking, and that's because he has an impact on the game to empower his teammates to continue playing hard and to play for each other, and they showed that. So I feel that that's going to translate to this preseason and regular season as well. Is just his ability to empower his teammates like the way Magic Johnson did. So I don't really have a clear-cut topic for this week. I'm just kind of generalizing, just kind of giving my thoughts. This is preseason. It's not really regular season yet. So I'm just going to basically just kind of share some of my thoughts, free will, so to speak. But as far as the win total is concerned, I think they could do about 10 wins more than last season. So I'm going to predict 37 wins this year. And I'm sure they could actually even probably get to 40, but I have a feeling that when we get closer to trade deadline, I think they're going to make some moves. There's only really a couple players on this team, in my opinion, probably 2.5, maybe 3 players that really are not tradable. It's Brandon Ingram, who I think so highly of. I think this guy's going to be the next Giannis Antetokounmpo. And then obviously Lonzo Ball, because this is a transcendent player, once in a generation type of player, that just brings so many unique skills and athleticism and leadership that I've never seen a 19-year-old with this type of leadership skills. It's unbelievable. It's Tim Duncan-esque. He doesn't even have to say anything, and he's already creating change. And that's the type of leader that I think Lonzo Ball is. And not only that, but he's got a lot of subtle character that we didn't really see with a Tim Duncan. You don't have to. You should be who you are. But with Hollywood, there's a lot of character, in that region, and to have a player like Lonzo Ball, who's not about himself but is funny and creative and artistic in his own way, that's a great thing for Hollywood, and it's a great thing for the game of basketball. So I think Lonzo, Brandon Ingram are definitely untouchable. I think they're the two core pieces of our team that we're going to be building around. And then the third one, which is kind of a shocker, and probably a controversial pick, on my part, is, believe it or not, it's Larry Nance. Now, there's all these other young players that we've drafted. What about, Clarkson? What about Zubac? What about Julius Randle? I think they're all talented. I think these are all players that could be on a championship team. But I think they're pieces, they're not significantly the core pillars of the team. I might have thought they were before. I actually thought Julius Randle could be, but things have changed since then, based on the needs of the NBA and the dynamics of the NBA. I think we're going to be going for a top talent, so those positions are going to be taken up no matter what, and they're always going to be better than than Julius Randle. When you have a guy like a LeBron, a Paul George, these guys are the highest echelon of the game right now, and they're easily going to be above Julius Randle. So no matter how good Julius Randle is, we're still going to have access to other players because of our cap space that are going to come in and take his position anyways. So for that reason, I can't call him a core pillar. So I think everyone on the team is tradable, except for those two aforementioned players, and then Larry Nance. And you're like, how's Larry Nance? Larry Nance might not even be a starter. He most likely he's probably not going to be. But there's something unique about this guy, his effect on the game, his effect even when off the court, that I think you have to have that in order to get to the championship. And to give you an example of a player that's kind of like that has a very subtle effect on a team, and is Iguodala on Golden State Warriors. Now, when you think of the Warriors, you're not thinking of Iguodala first. You're thinking of Curry, you're thinking of Klay Thompson, you're also thinking of Draymond, and coincidentally, Kobe Bryant thinks Draymond is the heartbeat of that team. Meaning, if you could defeat Draymond, you could defeat the Warriors. And he breaks down the real intricacies of the game. These genius minds like Kobe, they see things. They go, okay, well, Curry's going to get his points no matter what. But Draymond's the guy that disrupts the opposing team. He gets in their head. He guards their top player. He gets those loose balls that most players don't get that changes the outcome of a game. And, we saw that year that the Warriors lost in the championship. What happened? Draymond got suspended one game, and I think that was it. If he didn't get suspended, do you think they would have won? Maybe. They won 2 out of 3. So, with him. And then they lost one when he had to miss a game or two. I don't remember the specifics. It was a couple years ago, but I do remember him being suspended. And so it just kind of shows you that every team's kind of got a heartbeat. And I think, although I'm not going to put Nance and Draymond Green in the same sentence, Nance has that type of a Draymond effect on a game that makes things easier for his teammates and helps players to develop and to play their best. And it's a combination of things. It has to do with his athleticism, his skill sets, and he's not necessarily a great shooter right now. He's developed that, but his ability to just pass the ball and to make those plays that really count. Just 1 or 2 plays that change the outcome of a game. And then probably the third thing I'd have to say is just his leadership skills. He's very articulate. He's very well spoken, and you're not going to just get a great player just by how they speak, but it's when you put all these things together, this guy's pretty much, you can't really find another player in the league that could do this. And that's the whole point I'm trying to say, is his combination of athleticism, skill sets, and leadership it's unparalleled. And it doesn't even matter if he's a starter or not. It's that's how much of impact he has. He has that like Iguodala effect on a game, you know, where he puts up he gives you very, very important 20 minutes a game that can change the outcome. So, believe it or not, it's Larry Nance is the third piece that I think is not tradable, and I think, you know, he probably has a cap friendly you know, salary, which the Lakers can always work with. It allows them to get all their star players, and then you still have Larry Nance. So, so this is my opinion on the core pieces at this point, but I'm very interested in seeing, you know, what the positional battles that are going to take place during preseason to kind of see, you know, what happens. You know, one player that we thought was going to be really good was Zubac, and obviously he had a terrible preseason, but then I heard that he just dropped weight recently, so he kind of made some adjustments after his terrible preseason to kind of get back to being competitive again. So I want to see, you know, who's kind of improved and who hasn't. And so that's pretty much my overview for this basically, you know, introduction for season 2. I didn't really have didn't want to go into these specifics, just kind of wanted to just talk freely and give my thoughts on what's coming up in the upcoming season. But I'm very excited. You know, the Lakers have put in a lot of work this last few years. They've been very fortunate with the drafts. I think the basketball gods have been very, very, you know, kind to them to get, you know, back to back number 2 draft picks, to get, you know, Julius Randle, to find these little gems like Zubac and Jordan Clarkson. I think we've been lucky, and also we've done our due diligence to be able to find these type of talents and seek them out. So I'm excited. It's going to be a great season. This is going to be one of the best exciting seasons that's probably been since, like, you know, when Kobe was like in his prime. You know, since then things haven't been very well, but I think this team is on the right track, and I'm really looking forward to it. So sorry for kind of rambling a long time. It's kind of my first video, just kind of getting back into it a little bit, but I'm very happy to be talking basketball again, and hopefully I'll be talking to you guys soon again. All right, peace out.
Elliot Ness, the track hits your eardrum like a slug to your chest, like a vest for your Jimmy in the city of sex. We in that sunshine state where the bomb ass him be, the state where you never find a dance floor empty and pimp speed. On a mission for them greens, lean, mean, money making machines, serving fiends. I've been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes. Ever since Honeys was wearing Sassoon, now it's 95 and they clock me and watch me diamond shining, looking like I'm Rob Liberace. It's all good from Diego to the Bay. Your city is the bomb if your city making pay. Throw up a finger if you feel the same way. Straight putting it down for California, yeah. West Coast. Central. That's right. Now make it shake. Shake it, Cali. Shake it, Cali. West Coast. Long Beach in the house, yeah. Oaktown, Oakland definitely in the house. Frisco, Frisco, and you know LA up in this. Pasadena, where you at? Yeah, Inglewood, Inglewood always up to no good. Even Hollywood trying to get a piece, baby. Sacramento, Sacramento, where you at?